Oh yeah! Welcome to the Rant, where if you have something to say, you better post it here today. All right, I'm hyped about today's topic. We're gonna talk about which NBA duo is better, LeBron and AD or Kobe and Shaq. I think it's obvious here. It's Kobe and Shaq, and I'm gonna break it down for 3 reasons. First, we're gonna talk about how tough Shaq and Kobe were opposed to AD and LeBron. Second, we need to dive into what would it look like if both played against each other in a team game setting. And finally, we're gonna do what we all been waiting, the head-to-head matchup. Now, before we can do that, let's take it up to the top. First, we need to talk about the toughness that Kobe and Shaq displayed throughout their career, especially together, versus an AD and a LeBron. First, let's talk about Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe's toughness was something that you didn't want to mess with. One, Shaq, you got him at 7'1", around 325 when he was at the Lakers in his prime, versus
an AD that's 6'10", 254.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with the Shaq. Now remember, the size isn't just why we gonna say he is stronger. We also need to look at how the Diesel played. He was known for being physical. He could throw people off of him left and right. And we gotta realize a lot of the play that he did in his era would probably be called as an offensive foul today. But they let it slide because he played in a time where physicality wasn't frowned upon like it is today, where it's
muddying up the game, or
it doesn't take much skill. It's actually making the game a little bit easier for people to go to and fro. So Shaq really was versed in that. You gotta realize too, Shaq went to the finals in an even later era. Remember, yes, Jordan did retire, but Shaq and Penny end up going to the finals, and he was playing a rough style brand there as well. Granted, he was not as big, he wasn't as dominant as he was in his Lakers years, but he was a force to be reckoned with. People feared him. Shaquille O'Neal was in a category on his own as far as physicality. Think of him more like the Mike Tyson, right, in boxing terms. He was known for being a bruiser. He was known for, if you're going to attack him, you better attack him. You cannot come soft with it. So Shaq definitely, in my eyes, has the tough component over AD. Kobe over LeBron. Now, LeBron, don't get me wrong. You can't be as good as LeBron. You can't go through as many games as you have LeBron without being tough. Remember, I'm saying tougher. Kobe is tougher, in my opinion. One thing that I always laugh at is people get mad at Kobe. They always say, oh, you know what, Kobe, he couldn't get to the finals as much as LeBron. Oh, but when LeBron would lose in the finals to a more physical team, maybe like the Spurs, or maybe a team that would be able to game plan on him a little bit more, what's the response?
Oh, that team, it was so unfair. They weren't able to do this. LeBron had to go against Ginobili and Tim Duncan, and oh my goodness, Tony Parker. It's not fair.
Kobe was going through them to get to the finals, and those series with Bruce Bowen, Finley, like those series were physical. Kobe has shown time and time again that a good old bruising doesn't throw him off his game. Do that to LeBron, it's a different story. He'll complain. He'll cry. He'll show you the scratch marks after a game and say,
look, I got hurt here.
He'll do that because tough-wise, he's not on the same level as the Black Mamba. One thing that people sleep on too with Kobe is how many times he played through injury. He was one of the last superstars to push through injuries severely, whether it was something messed up on his actual shooting hand, whether it was something going on with his legs that could debilitate him or keep him from his jump shot being as effective, because we all know that he took the fadeaway and added a little spin to it, right? So let's talk about how he's able to push through injuries, and that's something we actually haven't seen LeBron be able to do. So when we go over the tough department, I'm saying there's no way where I'm thinking they're tougher than the Black Mamba and Diesel. Second, let's move on to how it would look if they were playing against each other in a 5-on-5 setting. One, we have to realize Shaq and Kobe complemented each other so much better. See, AD and LeBron can do similar things, right? When they're feeling it, they can shoot the three really well. They can both get to the basket. They both have a handle, right? You're listing all these things that they both can do. That actually makes it tougher sometimes on the court, because what it turns into is you get the ball, and it's not a playing off of each other. Right now, the best move for LeBron and AD is the pick and roll lob to the basket. Really good defenses, you can actually defend that. My problem is when you look at Shaq and Kobe, Kobe, the holes that each one had fit perfectly, and that's why the puzzle fits so well. When you look at Shaq and Kobe, Shaq did not have a jump shot to save his life. His form was pretty ugly. Even his array of moves down in the post, they weren't vast. He was mostly known for his power, his brute strength, his ability to be aggressive and dictate the tempo and dictate the physicality of the game. So when you look at Kobe, he was someone that would take the outside shots. He was someone that was willing to do a fadeaway three with zero. I mean, he had some crazy shots even with Shaq on the team. He was fearless, right? He could get to the basket, which is great. So their games really complemented each other well. Also, too, if you look, both of them have been elite on defense, really their careers. Now, I believe because of Shaq, it's mostly because of his God-given size and strength. And let's be real here. As far as technique, I don't really see him as a technician on the defensive end, but he was active. He had his hands up. He was aggressive. You have to give him credit for that, just like I give credit for LeBron. I give credit for LeBron when he's aggressive. But there's a lot of times where AD and LeBron take actual plays off. And one thing that we see with Kobe and Shaq, they on a defensive end played really well together as well. You have somebody who's basically saying you're not getting to the rim, and then someone who could play really good perimeter defense. LeBron's best isn't perimeter defense. LeBron is known for being a versatile defender, which is good. Versatility is good, but that doesn't make you elite. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you do that thing really, really well. And I think that's something that's lost in this generation because we see it one time.
Oh, it was against this New Jersey team. He covered this 5, so now LeBron can cover centers.
That's not how it works.
It was that center in that game. Styles make fights. So I think one thing that we have to look at is LeBron's defense isn't up to par to Kobe's or Shaq's, and I think AD's tails off as well. He's a good rim defender, don't get me wrong, but as far as changing the outlook of a game, you don't really fear him on the defensive side, which is crazy because he's leads the league in blocks. He's really talented. He's really long. He just doesn't have that physical presence that scares you. One thing that we have to look at too is when you look at the team matchup, they are proven. Shaq and Kobe are battle tested through championships. So the way that they went against teams, we saw them win. We have to see AD and LeBron in tough championship settings before we can really pick down fairly in a matchup. Now, finally, let's go to the head-to-head matchup, the matchup we've all been waiting for. This is my favorite. If it's make it, take it. Shaq and Kobe all day. I'm sorry. Shaq and Kobe all day. A lot of it has to do with the toughness. It does, especially when you play 2-on-2. A lot of it has to do with Shaq and Kobe complemented each other well. But a lot of it has to do with one-on-one game. People say that Shaq is what? The most unstoppable force that they've seen? Some even say more than Wilt Chamberlain when he was playing in an era where it wasn't developed yet, the league. So if Shaq is known widely as that, wouldn't you give him 7'1", 325, an advantage over 6'10", 254? Who breaks like glass? I'm sorry, I love AD as a player. He's so talented, he's so good, but he's glass. This man gets hurt all the time, and it makes me sad. I hate when great athletes get hurt, but it's a part of his game, right? He's going to be injured. So glass going against Shaq, that don't sound good. I'm going to put my money on Shaq in the paint. That's going to get ugly real fast. Another thing we've got to look at, too, is Kobe is arguably one of the best one-on-one players that the game has seen. Michael Jordan has even said this, that he thinks that he could beat anybody one-on-one. MJ has said this, except for Kobe because, quote, Kobe stole my move. The one-on-one matchups are so overly, like, LeBron would lose to Kobe. He can't play perimeter defense on Kobe, especially if it's a make it, take it. He just can't do it. And then also, too, LeBron doesn't have the skill to get past Kobe one-on-one because you got to realize it's not going from full speed from one side of the court to the other. We're playing half court. So that whole speed and size thing, it actually doesn't work really well for LeBron because if you realize he doesn't get to pick up his momentum. Half court, he doesn't have the handle. He doesn't have the IQ to get past Kobe. Kobe can lock him up or at least slow him down, to me, way more than LeBron can slow down Kobe. Kobe's just, it's going to be a case where if Kobe loses, it's because he missed the shot, not because it was actually good defense. Hey, I'm not trying to be a hater. I want y'all to know LeBron, AD, phenomenal players. I believe that Kobe and Shaq has everything they need to win because, one, they are tougher when we look at it head-to-head. Second, they complement each other so well when they play on the same team. And then finally, I believe if it's make it, take it 2-on-2, you know exactly how to go to. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. You better comment in the comment section, and I want to hear your thoughts. And remember, if you're wrong, I will correct you. Bye-bye.